Fast forward, in come our channel so AG Politics Avenue. Podcast house are training because making headlines. The Jimre na ilibi aksumo awaha nidi mahon rock shimu se ene. Ili kanya be shock so which must subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell so share na for friends so answer into be nidi ma mami info inra aye highway sinem ijadem a unya enye aksem ko akra na ningina se aye Gabby and I'm not say TV XYZ so Papa etimi asusuja edi egu eye MPP amayikunima or expose rocks ewo eye amayikunima enya asem koto ayajembre na edibi exomo na wakyerɛ sɛ Gabby ɔkyerɛ da kom ene Dr. Bawumia de omo entimi escape da de ntina ɔkasa nina and sɛ ye PDS ho nsɛnsɛm a ene akoye bruhaha Ghana for sika ebi kura kwa akodi omo ho a omo enri tennis kan eni ade a onua mene wakasei court mpo ewo amanone etimi ahyese omo entwia eye sika bia omo agege edi ama eye Ghana for no ena Gabby agina so a mene wakasei osusu ijana enya asem koto akra na at this point in time bobo ewra inseminim na dehwe ne yeko ene de eba hye ne so mam se AG Politics Avenue yanko stories
abranya mu bepie na sa frempo aboate mu yini free party nim na yeyi na abranya timu yede nokura sa ewa Ghana ha obia timi ka nokure Akuffo do accept MPP amanyokuo no wakwa akwotena si de wakwhye ni boydo France wodin ebegu enwu wonfa ho waye tam mo wia wo man we tam wo mo de National Cathedral wia wo man we tam omo the PDS area o ma wait time. I know sir the Attorney General, I mean Dr. Ayene, the Attorney General is doing all that he can to make sure say nipa bofo omo di o man we sika wo kwambone so no will be prosecuted. And woman omo wura mu e wo PDS no Bawumia cannot be escaped. Yes. On to me, you know, film or enye ye. Dear Gabby Motra, demo, or much no. Woman Kania enye ye about PDS, National Cathedral, they can't run away. I see you can run, but you can't hide. They don't have anywhere to go and hide. The truth must be told. I was a kind of chronic settlement before the moon in the country. As we speak. Where abaya abba, irrespective of your political colors. It's Excellency John Dramani Mahama say, a dear friend of Secretary say any prayer. Corruption idea nakuma empe nani pesebe. In opposition for 8 good years, while availing himself, some manager Mahama, some Maya Boni be Akuffo, your person yemi be a minion cobebia. The finance minister at Ghana ha, when you're near cobebia. Deputy Snaha, when you're near cobebia, na point is it now, when you're near cobebia. Akuffo buy, you know, what you're not going to say. Wabeta John Mahama. Na point is the lives of Akuffo, Honorable Collins Dauda, Honorable Ofoswampofu, name them. The former national chairman of the NDC. Currently he is the board chairman of Cocoa Board. The lives of Dr. Stephen Opuni, Honorable Sedu Agongo, Womo destroy amount for businesses. The former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Addo, and Benefo, name them. Sell more businesses. Yes, a box site where they are way in Hini, ya the Jomam and Indian Ibrahim, ya the Comachani for Nanado, a year near my winner. Naso Kwankusiaga. Show. And yet your Mahama peso. And ya de a year said nam, Eko Jina, a year quarter. Akuffo Addo ne di ni betina court maame no organ ha John Mahama na he was not in the helm of affairs ya betimi hold John Mahama aye responsible say ebia wo hold John Mahama say wo no ene mama me ni free o my Ghana mu ha call aye America you di maame na sem wie she was nowhere to be found. Her location everywhere. No me bia Akuffo Addo no nko for say oni ha. Akuffo Addo atumi ahwehwe maame na amayo. Said wo mama ka fura tadwane ye no. Akuffo Addo atumi ahwehwe said na mama ye. Sa oman. Ba me ka kira won say under the good leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. See, you can say you are resetting. You can say you are pabaya. When you willing to fight corruption, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the name Ebeba #1 on African soil. Not only in West Africa, on African soil, African as a continent. Because what demonstrated so many things are we wait to say papa where you will be when you willing say or be fighting corruption when you clearing agent where you me party member into ono de yenya no nam ne baby wabo my we kro no kra na court a convict na munya no no tan abrochiri me dwoma ma menya ho hwe as we speak. Said nam tamoklo ewo detention ewo America mem wuni mana say wuni well me person meje sem no bebre aka ne no na me wi ama bejaja na agu the useless ones ye o makwa kwotena fi a eye pious ene ne nkrofo wo mo small boys wo makwotena fi a opposition fo a tafo MP ekwo small boy. I call you are my younger brother. I mean, reason up like and you may be a sir a yeta for pancrono and young quanaquanium. And then MPP say I must sanquast. Sanquast. And I take the party. And that John Ajekum Kufo more personal. Wo nka BBN wa obetime nya wo MPP. And a press conference at home mokasa. General Secretary Kasa won't take National Chairman Yira Organizer Yira Uhu Se hu kwa no meka kire Ghana fo ye tie ene ensema efri eye America Ghana ambassador to eye America ya no office awo Washington DC ni the ambassador Victor Smith ye tie ensema wodi atudwa efa sedinam tamakulu ni detention in America no
Enra na yatete nsem say ya chenu but me de benfa here say aye adwuma ndi nisuma me pending for consular officers no mo hwehwe with the US authorities and omo confirm me Enra say US marshals are arresting Emiano ewo Nevada ewo eko Las Vegas side holo omo detaining now omo detaining as far back as 6th of January. That was last week also. And see, then I had to then issue a formal statement saying now we've identified and gotten confirmation from the US authorities. Say omo arresting on an extradition or a request from Ghana as far back as July of 2024. Yes, the extradition order on, once the government puts it, I believe a request in place, U.S. government, Department of Justice, almost a kasakatana, almost started to say, Ubutu say, big guy say, Attorney General, Dr. Ine, or one of his press conferences, okay, until BBC or say US authorities now confirm and say they've almost finished the arrangements for the extradition of Yenia Bano. And this was, I don't know whether it was November, now so December, and I saw a press interaction. And the immediately say a BSR request now on the two April so back as July of 2024. And I'm saying US authorities, a man who can say US marshals and Akuffo Yenia Bano, no one detained. Yet the never call judge who. Yeah, any action of theirs, let's say it will call court and my judge. It has now say or conclude your money ruling and nobody I hear to. That is what I know. If I catch a microphone say every film immediately no say bit me a cosra in your banana, but US marshals Omuni and Kasa to say their eyes for the Kasa or area Bakuno, a kind of Furata Diano. The Omudia said they're not cooperating with us very much, but Igusu say bit me a Kosra in your banner. I have say, well, problems you are not concerns Biana and Nabombia, or we see the drama in the Edin town.
Ghana ambassador to the United States of America, His Excellency Victor Smith, and I'm watching the channel live on TVS, YZ, and also on Power 97.9 FM, the hottest and the biggest conversation in Ghana inside politics. And Wasu Gusua with a Yemfi one of a young call a Jubilee House near call the Vice President of the Republic, Mame Professor Jinana Opoko Ajman, near office na share and near Anamutu, what him to FA a year transport ministry sector no, and Yama Ekoso Honorable a year Bukari or year sector minister or any deputy. Omo ebo adwuma yie papa na wo call eye ayololo nso omo ya de e na wo call eye Metro Mass Transit nso lawyer eye Kali Caesar ya wono eye MD ho no omo nyina omo ebo adwuma yie papa na ye mami enei wotumi akọ eye apro na ye mami prof na na Jeni Opoko Ajman obatampa Vice President Papa say we head the economic management team and what me born home thing ya sabri or my Ghana ye di near to me record a single digit inflation network to aswa from 6.3 never down one ya benya 5.4 yet say ye mami ni jumedie eso ni papa na engagement no e wa sha say e wo ye Metro Mass asuye ho di wurema ekonanim na member se magene sem nyina aka no me wi a me wogya me ba bebie nti no epesi etie ensem aye maami eneyi wotimi editu dwa na fi wi a eja gumbe man atankole Gabby got the capacity man na one mejeja no edi aguma ma yana hefo ene for Vice President of the Republic.
I was made aware earlier in the day that you had a meeting, so also thank you for your indulgence because we have more or less disrupted your meeting. But I'm also very, very much concerned that at the end of your meeting, you get more details that the ministers can share with us so that we can all team together in finding a solution. It's not an amusing situation. I've gone to the market, I've gone to school, I've gone wherever I need to go to, and I need to return. And having queues all over the place is not the most effective way of anybody spending their time, especially if you consider the kinds of frustrations that the situation is causing. As the Chief of Staff, my Chief of Staff has said, we can also become victims of our own success. You know, when we saw the crowds in town, we all thought, oh, it's just Christmas, which was more or less expected, but it doesn't look like the crowd has left. And therefore, there are persistent issues and we need to resolve them. So the transport sector seemed to have been waiting to exhale, and you are now exhaling, which is good. But in the process of exhaling, we need to team up and resolve the issues. So these are some of the comments I need to make. And I also appreciate your impatience in getting the problems resolved. Yes, even if for 10 years you haven't had support, it doesn't mean that going forward you should never get support. So we understand, but we also want to plead for your patience. We all know the situation. We all know all kinds of deaths and situations we need to resolve. We are not complaining. We are just asking everybody's support, everybody's patience in finding solutions that work for the benefit of all of us in this country. So on behalf of His Excellency the President, I want to thank you very, very much for your support and cooperation, which you have demonstrated so far. And I know we can count on it going forward. And especially for making the effort to meet with us this morning. I'm very, very grateful. And I also want to thank you for your support for the, is it the 15% reduction or so? Yes. And that's important because it cushions commuters. And who are the commuters? If they're not from my home, excuse me to say they are from your home. So they are it's about all of us. So thank you very, very much. But recently we have received all the reports about the stresses that commuters are facing, especially during rush hours in the morning and worse in the evening. I saw one and it wasn't amusing at all, you know. And sometimes the problem is caused by all kinds of situations, including even exploitation by some of our own drivers. Some long queues at bus stops and terminals, congestion, and all kinds of stresses that come with this situation. And we are informed that our fellow countrymen and women, we want them to be aware that government is not blind to the situation, that we have not seen, that we don't care, we think it's somebody's problem, it's everybody's problem. That is why I started by saying that we need to team up to find the solutions. We believe that the problems have solutions. I may not have any of them, you may have so many of them, and we are always willing to learn. So please continue to team up with us as we find solutions to problems that bedevil our country. And we know the roles of the public sector in transportation. I mean, you carry the burden, if I may use the word. You carry the responsibility, and our job is to ensure that we are lightening the burden so that you can play your roles well as a private sector. This is one way that we evaluate the presence and the input of the private sector. So we depend on you for all of us to reach our workplaces, our schools, our markets, wherever we need to go. And this is also the trust of your responsibility. And we know and we expect that this responsibility will be grounded in fairness, in respect. So I want to encourage open communication for all of us to resolve the issues. So this meeting is very, very important for us. We want to ensure that no passenger feels exploited, you know, whether through fares or queues or even lapses in safety protocols. We need to promote fairness, transparency, accountability in everything that we do, regardless the sector. So I encourage that we also communicate clearly, fairly, respectfully with our passengers, or the people who patronize our businesses. So please, with all respect, I want you as leaders to monitor your membership in order to prevent unnecessary negative comments and outcomes. So I want to pledge that the government continues to provide the necessary support to improve the welfare of passengers and of drivers. You know, we have the big push. Fixing the roads is very, very important for us. And at that time, it's not just for the drivers or the passengers, but for all of us. It has implications for every sector, the road, the transport. If I'm sick and I'm going to the hospital, and the driver tells me that where I live has a bad road and so he's not coming to support me, we can all know the implications. So it's a very, very important intervention. So we want to modernize and expand our transport services to promote and improve access, to ensure affordability and security too for the motoring public. We are taking steps. So we are therefore taking steps to improve the public transport system, not only by retooling, but also, of the state services, but especially of the private sector too. And I hope that answers your concern about the support that you need. So I'm happy to see the smile on you coming. So, in this vein, His Excellency the President has asked me to assure all of you that he will give support to Metromas, Ayalolo, and the private sector.
We ain't some of the because of channel so I'm not so Jim O'Hara, Senator Wadi, India, Dumia, Ibasamba room, not Yaxmo Passion Corporation. Swami, say, AGH politics already.